But first, we are working breaking news in the Aaron Hernandez trial. The former Patriots lawyers have now rested their case after calling only a handful of witnesses to the stand.
And now closing arguments are set to get underway tomorrow morning. Let's get right to Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell, who's live with the latest at Superior Court in Fall River.
One of the defense's witnesses testified PCP can cause hallucinations and unpredictable violent behavior. Prosecutors fought unsuccessfully to have that testimony excluded from this trial.
Hey, let me finish, please.
Dr. David Greenblatt testifying for the defense about the effects of the drug PCP.
It can cause violent behavior.
Greenblatt also described some of the physical symptoms of PCP, also known as angel dust.
Sweating or shaking or aimless behavior.
During this trial, we heard testimony suggesting Aaron Hernandez's alleged co-conspirators Carlos Ortiz and Ernest Wallace were doing PCP in the hours leading up to Odin Lloyd's death. Witnesses said they saw the men acting jittery and sweating profusely, but prosecutors used surveillance video from Hernandez's home to try to prove Ortiz and Wallace were in control of their actions.
Can you tell whether or not anybody appears to be in a exhibiting positive symptoms of PCP psychosis?
I simply can't tell from this video.
Doctor, would you ever turn your back on somebody if they had just engaged in some PCP-induced psychosis violence?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
The prosecution also called a rebuttal witness to refute Dr. Greenblatt's testimony.
There was a belief or an assumption in the field at that time that phencyclidine, in ways that was not understood, promoted or induced violence in individuals, and our review of the literature showed that that assumption was false.
Wallace and Ortiz have both pleaded not guilty to murder charges. They will be tried separately. The defense only called 3 witnesses to the stand, then rested their case. Coming up new at 6, hear from their DNA expert as she testifies about the DNA that was found on that blue bubble gum stuck to a shell casing. Live in Fall River with the Southeastern Massachusetts Mobile Newsroom, Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.
And now the Aaron Hernandez murder trial. The defense rested its case today after calling just 3 witnesses to the stand. New at 6, we're hearing from one of them, an expert who testified about DNA found on the bubble gum that was stuck to a shell casing. I've been following the case every step of the way since it started. She joins us now live outside Fall River Superior Court.
The defense's witness testified Aaron Hernandez's DNA was on that bubble gum, but so was a very small amount of someone else's. This blue bubble gum that was stuck to a .45 caliber shell casing was discovered in an Enterprise rent-a-car dumpster in North Attleboro, the same location where Aaron Hernandez returned his rented silver Nissan Altima. Prosecutors did not test the bubble gum for DNA, but the defense did, and there's no question it has Aaron Hernandez's DNA on it.
The odds are 1 in 428 quintillion unrelated individuals.
But that gum also had other DNA on it.
Because there were only 3 alleles that were even detected, I wouldn't be able to make any conclusions with regards to whom they may have been contributed from.
Earlier in the trial, prosecutors presented evidence showing Hernandez's DNA found on the shell casing that was attached to the gum. The defense used today's testimony to try to prove Hernandez's DNA transferred to the shell casing by way of the bubble gum, and also that someone else's DNA could have been on the shell casing.
It was in fact gum. Again, is very adhesive. It's very sticky. It's possible anything else that the gum came into contact with could have picked up DNA from that type of object or surface.
Earlier in the day, another witness testified defense attorney James Salton handled the gum with an unsterilized pen. Jennifer Smith confirmed the extra DNA could have come from that handling. Closing arguments will begin tomorrow morning. Each side will get a maximum of 90 minutes to wrap up their cases. Live in Fall River with the Southeastern Massachusetts Mobile Newsroom, Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.